here in this game and try and get Hope ahead for once.
Especially when we're looking at EDG, who are trying to bounce back from the likes of iBoy leaving the team. Hope has done an amazing job of coming in and filling that gap.
Yeah.
And when we look at the performance from EDG last year, this was the first year since their inception that they didn't make Worlds. This is a team that is looking to find their success once again and put themselves back in contention of the storied history they've had in the LPL. It needs to start here today, though. It needs to start in this game and put themselves one step closer to that reverse sweep.
They're in the quarterfinals right now, but this is not enough for EDG as an organization. Bear in mind, they have 5 domestic championships under their belt. They've got an MSI under the belt as well. On the other side of the board, in EDG's eyes, FPX are a young upstart. They only arrived in 2018. Since then, though, or 2017, sorry. Since then, they've actually managed to get themselves a world championship. So sure, in terms of number of trophies, FPX might not be as impressive, but they've got the one that matters the most.
I actually corrected you wrongly there. It was 2018. My bad.
That's what I thought, but I was like, he sounds confident, so I'll go with him here on
That's
this
how
one.
I work. I just say things confidently and people believe me. It's my job.
Let's get on into this game, because EDG are going to start things off pretty aggressively here with an invade onto the blue buff, but FPX will not let this one go for free. Doing B. He's going to be trying to step in. Bear in mind he's a level 1 rise. Doesn't do a whole lot. Will flash away. Blue buff taken. It was JJ that smited it in the end. And FPX don't get the play they wanted.
No, but they get the smite out of Doinby. And again, we talked about JJ.
The flash out of Doinby.
The flash out. What did I say?
Smite.
Smite. The flash out of Doinby. Words are tough, apparently, for me.
They
this
are
game
quite
3.
difficult.
So I want to see JJ put more attention towards this mid lane now. Doinby without the flash. You can have Scout with the Absconder Duck set up for the play. And same as we were talking about on the top side. Oh, hang on.
We've got a 2v2 on our hands. Mako will walk away with his life.
So using the electrocute is great, but not at the cost of your half your health bar there, Mako. Again, though, on the set, so we will be able to regen a lot of that. Has the pot ticking over as well, so not the end of the world, but watch JJ. Can he make his presence known in this mid lane? Doinby playing very far back, knowing that he doesn't want to be given the opportunities to Scout to set up for that play.
And Omnistone is omnipresent right here, because it sees that Mako took a bad trade, so it gives him the fleet footwork to sustain back up a little bit. He's desperate to make this Omnistone work. Scout, though, takes a bit of a heavy trade there from Doinby in the mid lane.
Just because I've seen a few people question the set in the bottom lane, but I'm going to hang on for a second as it looks like Scout is setting up with JJ.
Let's come back to that, because EDG are doing what FPX does best. They're going for this dive in the bottom lane. 4 versus 2. Chris flashes away. He's ignited, and he'll be finished off with a haymaker. Kill goes the way of Scout, and everybody escapes from EDG.
And this is setting up off of that early play where EDG, they steal away the blue buff, so Tien is going to be pathing towards top side, and once they got enough time with Scout pushing in off of the flash advantage that he has. Oh, hang on.
Here we go. TPs from both sides right here. LWX is going to be falling. Mako sacrifices his own life for it. Doinby is here. Tian alongside him as well, but they don't quite have the damage to finish off Scout. Stun onto Tian. He goes back in. The guy's a lunatic. Tian, you got to get out of there, man. Hope, though, has to flash away, and he sacrificed Scout for it. The hook from Crisp is beautiful, but the Rens are stacking up from Hope. It's not quite enough to finish a kill, though. Hope jumps over the wall. EDG will escape.
EDG making the FPX play of diving these bottom lane turrets, and they do come out on top. And a lot of that is, as we said, Doinby not having the flash, afraid to push in this wave in the same manner he would have if he had the flash available. So Scout gets the roam off first and sets up the play in the bottom lane. And this is why we often do see the set support come in. So you opt towards the Omnistone, so you're able to take the likes of that Hextech flash, as well as being able to take Nimbus Cloak, so you're able to close the gap consistently. But the diving that you get on this set is so strong because Haymaker can tank incredibly well. You've great CC when you've got the Face Breaker, the Showstopper, and Mako here is doing a great job of showing what you're capable of working with in this set.
And we criticized Mako's set earlier on today when we saw the first set in the draft. We said, you know, Mako didn't look so hot in this set in the regular split, but here in playoffs, it's a different Mako.
Well, it's EDG playing so well around it, and this is not a play that Junjie would have made. This is a play that JJ will make. This is why we start to see this rotation coming through from EDG. But again, it's when we hit this mid-game that we've seen some of these mistakes creep in from Mako. So watch as we start to get towards these team fights of dragons, as we start to rotate around the map, if Mako can still be as consistent on this set.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for that one, Dagda, but Mako...
Predator picked up now. Okay, so we will be pushed off, but maybe Mako, off this big wave that's being shoved in, can look to make a move towards mid. Doinby backing away, still has no flash, still has no teleport. I'd love this set to try and make a play towards mid.
And this is such a great way to start the game here from EDG. We said coming out of Game 2, they need to change the pace, change things up here. They've drafted way more early game power here, and they are already using it to great effect. They've flipped the script here on FPX. Mako, he's going to be fine. He's going to be able to get away with this one. Actually using the Predator just to leg it out of there. In the meantime, JJ starts this Dragon. Tian is here, though. But EDG, they would love to fight for this.
Yeah, Mako and Hope are going to be able to move across. First, that big wave that we're talking about from LWX, well, he's got, are pushing in against LWX. He's got to deal with that. And this is why JJ is really good at objective control. It's using these waves to get a slight advantage where Hope and Mako can join first, and then they can have a man advantage at Dragon. They pick up the Dragon here first things off the bat, and now the next objective in just over a minute and a half will be that Rift Herald.
And that is where we'll see whether or not EDG are really going to emulate this FPX style. Because actually it's been EDG that managed to get both Heralds in game number 2. And we'll see JJ, he's got his work cut out here. Double control ward. Hey, but that's 60 gold. I think he's happy with that one. Scouts coming into the bottom lane, though. It's time for a dive. Once again, Crisp and LWX. You don't have Tom Kench this time. Tower plate goes down. Mako happy to tank this tower. Facebreaker available. And it's just going to be a kill onto Crisp from Hope. But Audi wants to keep this one going, and he slices, he dices, and he gets himself a Call the Meek.
And it's all things nices for EDG, picking up kills, picking up turret plates. And yes, Gimgoon will be able to push in this wave and get some for himself. But EDG are solidifying this beautifully strong early game. And now when we talked about in the draft, EDG setting up for success, beating out the likes of Doinby in the split push and Gimgoon in the split push. This is how you do it as EDG.
And hey, what do we always talk about when it comes to split push? What's the weakness of that strategy? Is if you're not ahead, you don't get to control the side lanes in the way that you want to. And EDG are trying to set themselves up with that lead.
And even when we look towards these early game skirmishes where we talked about Audi and Scout finding their success, this has only been doubled now because a kill at piece for both top and mid.
Well, FPX say anything you can do, we can do better. It's our turn to go for a dive here, and Audi will not have the dominance available. The damage is there, but actually Audi survives, and Mako's here to save the day. Tian gets the Lantern out to safety, but a perfect answer from EDG.
It does mean that Audi's taken relatively low, though, so we'll need to use the Cult of Meek to try and heal up, but again, you've answered. Gimgoon's taken low, Tian not as healthy as he would like, so Gimgoon, no teleport, means that EDG can keep FPX off of this Rift Herald.
Mako is looking amazing so far this game. He's 0-1-3, but this set has been played perfectly. Not only that, though, his map plays have been excellent. He moves up, he reads that FPX are going to make this dive play, and he's there to protect his top laner.
And Hope has control of this bottom side, so he's pushing in and reading that he can now move up to this mid lane to just give support in case FPX tried to contest this. But Rift Herald now will go over in favor of EDG. 2 quick objectives over for the EDG squad.
And it's EDG that are setting the tempo. This is exactly what we wanted from this squad. Changed things up for game number 3, and they're doing exactly that. The question will be, can they hold this lead? Also, I want to quickly mention, LWX has gone for the on-hit Varus this time, not the lethality. So there is a bit of a change in pace here from FPX as well.
And I like this because LWX will, as we said, be able to try and keep a lot of people at bay with this Chains of Corruption. So having that moment to try and move back and then still get through. A lot of the tankier members that are on EDG, Audi will get a lot of health. Scout as well will end up with a pretty big health pool. So getting a lot of use out of this Blade of the Rune King. I want to look, though, at the turret plates that are on this bottom side of the map because you can see JJ moving down here. 3 plates means that more than likely JJ is going to use this Rift Herald on the bottom side, pick up this turret, and you can see LWX and Crisp have already figured this out. They've abandoned the bottom side of the map to make a play towards the top side instead.
They really want to shut Audi down, but he's not going to be going down without a fight. I want to kind of visit the scoreboard here and look at CS numbers, though, because right now, Hope is miles ahead of LWX. He's 30 CS up, he's 2-0-2. And now, with a Herald on this bottom side, Hope is like King Midas right now. Anything he touches turns to gold, because this guy is loaded.
Is that the 5th century or the 8th century?
That's the Yeah, of course, it is the 5th century BC Midas from Greek mythology, not the one that, you know, topped himself.
Well, we are going to be looking at EDG pushing in this bottom side of the map. Rift Herald has done a great job of already collapsing through this. FPX are miles behind on the play, and the beauty about this push from EDG is they can shove in this wave back towards the dragon, pick that one up for themselves as well, or at least scatter wards across the FPX jungle to mean that to secure themselves this next dragon. Oh, Scout.
Scout is going to just face check in anyway because the rest of his squad is here. Doing B is deleted.
This is so well played by EDG. They are taking everything on this map. LWX is still stuck in the top side trying to clear this turret, while EDG are 2 paces ahead.
This is still the trade for the tier 2 in the bottom lane that we saw earlier on, and LWX can't even finish the tower. We've talked about how FPX have had the lead in these series. The biggest lead they had was 2,000 gold. EDG right now are 4,000 up.
And we talked about the mid game where FPX start to slip. Well, EDG have come out of the gate swinging in the early game and now potentially looking for something good in the mid.
This is a bad TP though, because that tower's already down. There's a stopwatch available for Hope, though. Everybody's arriving, and LWX is so low. Realm Warp coming on through. Flash from Chris, but he misses the hook. Now doing B, going very, very deep. The exhaust onto Hope means he doesn't have much damage, but here comes the rest of the squad. Scout's arrived, and he's got damage. Finishes off doing B. LWX desperately trying to escape. Tian jumps over to him as well. In the meantime, though, there's still 2 members bot side for EDG, but Scout's not done just yet. The chain lash to finish 1. And they continue the chase.
EDG are looking at a Phoenix. They're swatting away FPX like an annoying fly, shutting down plays across the board, picking up advantages. At 12 minutes in, we are 7-1 with a 3,000 gold lead, 4,000 gold lead in favor of EDG.
This is a beautiful game we're seeing here from the side of EDG. 4,000 gold lead, as you rightly say. 4 minutes until that next Drake, and they're already 2 up on the scoreboard. They're ahead in towers as well, importantly, because when you consider what happened in Game 1, Game 2, it was FPX winning on these tower trades. The macro play was what was immaculate, but EDG aren't going to let them play that pace of game.
And remember what we talked about with JJ coming in. Objective control is the strength of this jungler. This is now EDG looking at Soul Point in just over 3.5 minutes. They've already littered the wards completely on the map. And EDG, some of the biggest criticisms we had when they're playing with Audi and Junjia is that they don't really know how they're supposed to operate, where they're to get the wards, how do we address these objectives. But with JJ in, it seems to be giving them that new lease of life where they can play this style.
And let's bear in mind that, you know, JJ, he was promoted from EDG Youth, or Edgy, as the name
Cool
actually
kids
is.
call him.
They are very, very cool. But he was promoted from that squad in summer 2019. Bear in mind, he's still pretty much a rookie on this squad, and he is looking exceptional here today. Hope as well, the other rookie here, who has been fed all of this gold on Kalista, and I'm hoping we get to see the reason that they put so much priority on the Kalista pick this series.
This is not us, by the way, saying Junjia is terrible by any sense of the word. It's just I like the way EDG are able to swap around their junglers for very different styles of EDG, and we're seeing it come through in this game. Now, though, I want to see them opt into the split push, try and figure out a way that they can deal with both Gimgoon and Doinby and keep the waves in check in this game.
LWX will be here, and bear in mind that Varus, even with the on-hit build, will still have exceptionally good wave clear for himself. Gimgoon, though, he's the target of a lot of criticism here from EDG, as they want to try and shut down the World Ender, but Gimgoon walks away and will be able to get the recall. There's not a wave in position, so they can't go for any kind of dive.
Look at the difference, though, between Gimgoon and Audi. Audi's been playing around the map so heavily, he's still only level 9, well, just hit level 10, whereas Gimgoon is already on that level 11 mark. So Audi would need to be positioned against Doinby for a large portion of this game, because if he ends up against Gimgoon, it'll be lights out for the Renekton.
And LWX has actually managed to just about match the plate gold coming out for EDG there when it comes to the bottom laners, but it's where the kills are and the CSs. That's where the lead really is in that bottom side. But EDG, they continue their performance when it comes to these Rift Heralds so far in this series, so they will grab the second one. And they could use this to crack open that mid lane.
It's the last outer turret remaining for FPX, so I would be surprised if they didn't turn their attention towards the mid lane. The other thing that they can do, though, is use this to create artificial pressure in the mid lane so they can go towards the dragon. It's only a minute until that spawns, so back away, get your gold, spend it nicely, pick up your control wards, get that vision back in favor of yourselves and River, and then look to draw the attention of FPX in 2 directions at once.
And I'd love to see them do that purely because that's exactly what FPX have been doing to EDG, is making them make these tough decisions, pulling them in multiple directions at the same time. I'd love to see EDG give FPX a taste of their own medicine here. Use that Herald, as you say, for that pressure.
And I want to draw people's attention to where the game state was in game number 1 and game number 2 at this stage. We had tier 2 towers galore going across to FPX at this stage. That was where they were able to create these long lanes where minions could really start to snowball, pick up speed, and a lot more creeps per wave. But they don't have that opportunity this time around. This is dangerous, though, for Audi. He needs to get the hell out of here.
Audi's in a big old lump of trouble right here because Gimgoon's going to pop the world, and he's already used his slice and dice. Flashes away, though. Blast cone available. Gimgoon gets the knock up, and Tian, he's here. He's waiting. Dominus comes through, but you can't 1v3. Not just yet, anyway. Doinb finally gets himself a kill.
So FPX are looking to trade the tower mid and this dragon for the play topside. They'll need to get more than just a kill if they want to make this even, but with this Rift Herald, it makes it very hard to trade for another tier 2 on the top side of the map.
Yeah, they can try and go for a tier 2 here, but they're going to lose this Infernal Drake for sure. They lose the tier 1 guaranteed, and I really don't think Gimgoon has the pushing power just yet to make that tier 2 happen.
He should be able to. I actually think he might be fine here. Don't forget, Gimgoon is reasonably fed when compared to Audi, although there we go. That's the teleport coming through from Audi to try and keep it. So now you've got EDG who picked up the dragon. They understand the pressure that Gimgoon can create.
We're at 17 minutes sole point, Dagda. 17 minutes.
That's insane.
EDG have gone, you know what? Sod the late game. We're drafting an early game comp. We're going to fight you, and we're going to take every single objective. They're doing exactly that. And now FPX are on a timer. Their mid laner is Rise. That's a late game carry.
And I love seeing this adoption from EDG. That's why these best of 5s are amazing, because you get to go, okay, what can EDG bring out of the woodworks when they're put on the back foot? When they're 1 loss away from being knocked out of the playoffs? Well, they come out swinging. They come out with this amazing composition that they're pushing FPX to their limit on.
And I want to obviously point out, I just mentioned, obviously the mid laner is Rise here for FPX. So yes, they have a ton of late game prowess. You got an on-hit Varus there as well. So if they were able to get to that really late stage of the game, they will look incredibly tough. It's just a matter of if they ever make it to that point, because EDG, they shouldn't be looking to slow things down, but Scout could be in trouble. He's got his own Realm Walk, but he's kicked straight out of it. Doinb, tank of the tower though, means that they can't force the issue on this one, and Scout survives.
Tian is desperately trying to help out around these side lanes to get something back in FPX's favor, but it hasn't really netted them too much. Yes, a top lane turret, but Scout has been doing a good job of keeping pressure on this bottom lane. Now you've got the rest of EDG putting pressure on the rest, on everywhere else in the map. And Scout, yeah, TP's back in to keep Doinb at bay.
I love that from Scout. Denies the cannon as well as the tower for himself there. And my question to you now, Dagda, is, I just mentioned it. FPX, they've got a lot of scaling on their side. What is it that EDG have to do to keep this ball rolling? Because now that the tier 1s are down and Baron's not available just yet, where did it go?
The next port of call for EDG is to try and knock down that top lane turret, because when you look at these split push scenarios, you want all the waves crashing at the same time, but the top lane tower is going to stop that from being the case. And especially when EDG have just invested both of their teleports to get out onto the map, to get this tempo advantage in their favor, they need to do something with it. But unfortunately, with the wave now pushed in a little bit further for Audi, he's not able to go aggressive on the top side. The wave is pushed too far deep on the bottom side for Scout to make anything happen with it. And FPX are able to clear out these waves, and with the double teleports that they have and Baron up in just a few moments, they can make these plays towards the big objectives with the countdown timer on the teleports of EDG's side.
Scout is looking fantastic on this Sylas, by the way. He's really stepped up here for game number 3. He was playing more of the late game style carries in game 1 and game 2, but this time around with Sylas, obviously Sylas will do great in the late game, but it's these mid-game skirmishes, especially with a lead, that Sylas is really going to shine. And EDG, they heard you loud and clear. They want this top tower.
Yeah, you can see Audi's starting to push it in. I like that Scout is also rotated over to try and make sure that if anything happens, they can fight the 5v5.
FPX want to stop this one. 2MB. He's got a round wall, but he is completely denied, and he is popped immediately. Tower will fall, so will Gimgoon. Tian has arrived, but he's too late to the party. There's one for JJ, and Baron is on the map.
There's 3 gone for FPX. Unless LWX can make some sort of miracle steal, which should never happen, EDG can pick up the Baron. EDG are running around FPX.
And I really don't think that 2MB and Gimgoon realized the tower dive was happening right there. They try and stop the play, they try and defend the tower, but it goes so horribly awry. Now Crisp, he wants to contest, but Scout is here and he's found LWX. The Lantern pulls him to safety, but it's not that safe. There's a crocodile over the wall. They will back away, but the Baron will go the way of EDG.
And now they can start to try and make plays in these side lanes. FPX had the teleport advantage, burned it in that play, so EDG with their own teleports coming up can now look to make these side lanes heavily in their favor. And this is actually where I thought it's strange from FPX to commit so heavily to this. They don't spot how many people from EDG are up here, but with everything dark, Doinby committing this heavily onto a teleport to the top side, Gimgoon as well following up on that when you see multiple members. This was FPX just not respecting EDG's map movements and knowing that they could have made this play.
I feel like they realized they made a mistake and then doubled down on it anyway.
Yeah.
They were just like, all right, well, we win together, we lose together. It's time to fight this one, boys. 2MB cannot win this 1v1. Scout is making a mockery of him right now, but actually decides not to go for it.
You just needed a couple more seconds for the next round of Abscond to be up by Scout. That's when he was going to go in aggressive, which is why Doinby very quickly backs away.
But here we go, Baron buff in the pockets of EDG, and that means they can happily walk on up to these turrets. Tier 2 already gone in the bottom lane, remember, but Infernal Soul has just spawned.
I love how Mako is now playing this set as well. The criticism we had was him going a little bit deep the previous times we've seen him in the set pick, but he's playing this keep away style, positioning right beside Hope. So if TN tries to come in for a Dragon's Kick, you've got the showstopper to pull TN away from his target and set EDG up for the turnaround play.
Well, with the Infernal Soul at 22 minutes
insane.
in the game, I'm sure a lot of you guys at home will have watched the charity speedrunners, the AGDQ guys. Well, this is LPL GDQ because these guys are not looking to stop anytime soon. They're not going to be looking to pause and reset. They're looking to end this as fast as possible.
And this is incredible from EDG because I started to look at our notes and I was like, I don't even have it written down how quickly EDG win because it was just such a non-factor in the way that this team played. They were the late game team fighters. They wanted to hang on until those later stages. It's FPX who are the fastest team in the league, but EDG are putting on a show as to how you actually want to try and close these games out as fast as possible.
EDG are wearing their Phoenix hats right now and they want to fight underneath the tower. Crisp is trying to tank up Gimgoon as well, but they just don't have the health bars. Audi happy to tank as a double goes the way of Hope. We wanted him to step up, and step up he has for game number 3. Down goes the inhibitor with the death timers at 40 seconds. This is game 3 going the way of EDG. LWX and Crisp against the world right now, and with the Baron buff, there's nothing they can do. In fact, Fountain diving Scout, he might just have committed suicide here, but in fact he survives. Will finally drop to an arrow of LWX.
This is only 23 minutes though. Respawns are coming in quick.
Respawns are coming quick, but Chris falls and it's not going to happen. Another one for Hope, another for Audi, and game 3 for EDG.
At 24 minutes as well.